Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to hit participants and then
Okay. Participants. Me. Rename. Ah, okay. How's that? That's usually what I sign my stuff with.
okay. Well,
All
no
right.
worries. Okay.
Okay. Hi, buddy. Oh, thank you for the ice cubes. Oh, God, but could you help me get this off? Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh, that's hey. There you go.
So yeah, I think that it's fair. It's 12 o'clock, so we can just start the conversation.
Yeah,
And yeah, so thank you so much
sure.
for being willing to join. And maybe my name is Isaac with Country Life Natural Foods. We're a health food store slash um, bakery that makes their own granolas and stuff. We've been around since 1960. But Dr. Mel, I'd love you to introduce yourself so that people can learn about who you are.
Hi. I'm Melanie. I'm a chiropractor studying functional medicine, homeschool mom, and I've been milling flour for about 5 years.
Five
I think
years.
yes.
So, what what actually led or what got you into milling flour? Because when I read or think about making bread or that type of stuff, like I go to the grocery store. That's like my first go to. I mean, my mom has made bread. I've seen a bread maker and all that stuff, but then to make the own flour, I feel like that is such a labor. Like it just sounds labor intensive, and like so. Yeah, you were pointing back there, but like,
Yeah.
how do you stumble upon deciding to make flour?
Well, and that's exactly what happened. So I can make the long story short. It was him, but it really does go back to when I was in chiropractic school and my daughter was really sick for about 2 years. They thought she had cancer, and then they would do a biopsy and say, "Well, it's not cancer, but we don't know what it is. She should be fine. In another 6 months, the hole in her jaw will just grow back, and then we would be worse off 6 months later. New biopsies, new cancer suspicions, and whatnot." And going through chiropractic school, we learned that we were way ahead of what the rest of the world does. It was like living in a bubble. So we did all the gluten free, dairy free. My family would joke that we only eat cardboard,
Right.
uh, right? And while it helped her, I'm going to say behavior in school tremendously to cut out all the other junk, we didn't really get far until oddly enough, I started to do the gluten free. And at first, I thought it was gluten free, but it wasn't. I couldn't afford to buy the gluten free products. So I would buy whatever whole grains were on sale, like sorghum or brown rice and stuff like that. And I would grind it into a flour in my Vitamix.
Mm.
I didn't know that that was the healing part, right? And I just attributed it to, well, it was gluten free, and we were constantly changing up what we used to make our stuff because it really depended on what I found the cheapest at the store,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because it was expensive,
Yeah.
like $10 a loaf.
Mm.
And, 15 years ago,
Mm.
$10 a loaf. Like now
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
like $10 a loaf, you're like, okay, whatever. But 15 years ago, bread was not like that.
Right. No, for sure.
So, um, we moved home then. I graduated, came back up to Pennsylvania. I had him, and he was born with eczema.
Mm.
All the little cracks in his wrists and his ankles and his knees, elbows, they all had eczema. And it only got worse once he started eating real food, and way worse. So finally, I took him to a dermatologist, and they go, "Well, he has eczema." I'm like, "No kidding," you know. Thanks for
Mhm.
telling me what I already knew.
Yeah.
Um, so they're like, "Do wrapping of his legs," and so we went through, bought all these ingredients I would never put on my kid, and wrapped his legs in bandages and stuff. And overnight, they looked significantly better. But as soon as we took the bandages off, he'd scratch himself bloody.
Mm.
It was just nuts. I'm like, okay, well, we need to see what is causing him to be this itchy, right? And even plain water burned his skin.
Wow.
It was nuts. Like he didn't want to go in the pool. He didn't want to go in the ocean.
Yeah,
He didn't want to
my
no
mom had a
bath.
sun allergy. My mom had a sun allergy one time, and so the
Yeah.
fact of being we're like 70% water. So the fact that water being allergic or having a reaction just that'd be awful. I'm so sorry to go through
Right. And so could drink it. Yeah, he could drink it, but
that.
on his skin it just burned and he'd scream and cry. And so we'd be up all night, Mama, scratch. Because if I didn't scratch very gently to just relieve the itch, he would scratch himself bloody.
Mm,
And so I read a book. Carla Bartolucci has a book called Einkorn. And I'm reading through all her daughter's problems. She lost her hair. She couldn't eat all kinds of stuff. She was losing weight. And she started to use the einkorn flour and was doing better. And I was like, I noticed he didn't do as bad when I made the bread, right? So I was like, all right. Oh, I we also got him allergy tested. So they did the full panel of the most common kids allergies, and he was off the chart for cats, dogs, dust. But he also clocked in with peanuts, wheat, dairy, egg, and soy.
it's like
So
what are you supposed to eat?
right, and I remember from the gluten-free days, well, if you knock out the wheat, there is a guarantee that there's going to be either dairy, soy, or egg to hold up that bread because there's no gluten to do it, you know? So I was like, what am I going to do? I made bread with aquafaba, which,
Mm-hmm.
it's the bean water.
Right.
I mean, you can make it, but gross and high in salt. And so I was like, okay, this is not a lasting solution. Um, so for a while, we did just gluten free stuff that didn't require anything serious. But when I read the
Vitamix.
Einkorn book, yeah, I did the Vitamix. But it wasn't until, well, then I tried the einkorn flour from Jovial, and he could tolerate it, which was great. But he didn't heal until, so we rent, and mice chewed through the ceiling into our pantry and ate 2 giant bags of the einkorn flour.
Hmm.
And I kept saying, Ray, something's up there. I can hear it. And he'd look and he's like, there's nothing. I don't see anything. I went to pull the bags down and I got to get up on a ladder and all this stuff. And it was completely, just a shell. And I went,
Whoa.
oh, are you kidding me? And so they had eaten through everything. And I couldn't find the flour online. It was all sold out at the time. And I was like, well, I'll do what I did in chiropractic school. We're just going to get the wheat berries and grind them up in our blender. So I did. And when I did that, his skin started to heal. And I was like,
Mm.
but why? It's the same thing, right? Who doesn't say that? It's the same thing. I don't understand how you milling it is going to make it any different than because we just all think flour is wheat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I learned that it wasn't, and here the part that was healing was that I was milling it in my blender, you know.
Mm.
Milling the flour was the thing that made my eczema go away. Yeah. So like now, do you want to show him your legs? He's been sitting here because he wants to show his legs to everybody. There. To lift him up. Look at this. They're super smooth and no eczema whatsoever. That
Wow.
we never had that. Never. And he can go swimming in the pool, taking a shower, doesn't burn his skin. He sleeps at night. I sleep at night. It's
Mhm.
That's a miracle.
And I can even swim super fast because I don't have the egg in my anymore.
Of course.
Thank you, buddy.
Of
Um,
course. Well,
yeah,
that's just that is amazing. And it's like you said, what is the difference? Flour is just flour. But when I was just reading in the Bible and listening to how they made bread. The women were together and they were there. And it actually Jesus says that there's a time when like there are two women at the mill or two women milling. One is taken, the other is left, and it goes to show that what they were doing at the time was they went to the mill to mill their flour. Then once it was fresh flour, they brought it back home and made their daily bread, right? And
yeah,
so it's like we it's so it we read about it, but it's a thing that we just don't think about. Oh, maybe the process of actually making the fresh flour for the fresh bread is where that healing comes from. Or because I mean, as you said, well, I'll let you go on and explain more because you know far more than I do.
um,
I just love hearing these stories because yours is one of the few stories that I've heard, but it's always like tremendous reversals, tremendous healings, tremendous turnarounds that they're like, and all we really did was just start making the bread.
yeah,
I
and
love
you
it.
know, a lot of people have amazing results like that, but not everybody does. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, for us, the flour was like the final of all the changes. I had already cut out white sugar and used the unrefined. I'd already cut out seed oils and all that. Everything's organic, and if I can grow it myself, I do. If not, my friend grows it. Like that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're what my daughter one day called me up and she goes, "Mom, I just realized that we grew up in an ingredients household. Like that's the new name, the ingredients household." And I was like, okay, you know,
That's
right?
awesome.
Because we don't buy snacks at the store and we don't crave them. When you eat fresh fruits and vegetables and beans and grains,
Mm-hmm.
and if you eat meat, and we do, we just don't do a lot of it. Um, you don't crave stuff. And usually, if you do, at the end of the day, I say, did I get my whole grains? If I say no, that's where we're going first. Did I eat fruit? If I say no, that's where we're going second, right? And if I ate my whole grains and my fruit and I'm still craving a little something sweet, by all means, go for it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't crave salty anymore. I don't crave all the, we're getting what we need
Mm-hmm.
in the food,
Plus, fruits are so. I love fruit. Fruit to me is fast food. There's nothing more easier than just taking something, washing it off, and just popping it in your mouth. Like fruit's great.
right? Like dates are God's candy.
And we have dates on our
They
website,
are
so.
so right, and they don't look. What did Eli? I think you said, well, dates look like poop, but they're really delicious. Right?
Yeah, dates are great. So
Yeah.
how did you hear about Country Life then, or
From from you.
okay.
Yeah. Actually, I had never heard of you, and then you guys reached out to me, and we chatted that one day,
Uh huh.
and that's the first time I had heard of you.
Well, awesome. Well, interesting. I when so how I discovered you was Lovely Bell. She has a community, and then I saw that you have like a thing with her, and I saw that you also made flour. And one of the things that I'd love to do with at Country Life is because I myself am not the foremost expert on milling and all those things. I know we have a lot of grains, and we have a lot of customers who are very knowledgeable, but there are
Yeah.
a lot of other people who are just getting into this and they're not sure where to start or why they should start because it is kind of a process where you have to now get extra equipment. It's one thing to have like a juicer and a blender, but now it's like you have to get a grain mill and maybe a mixer. And so
Yeah.
there's just different equipment that you have to get, but why is it worth it? And then in your regard, I mean, you saw what it did for your son, but
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm hoping, maybe to inspire others or just to give the information that there is a different way or another way of really providing for your family.
Yeah, so a lot of people think, oh, I need to buy a special mixer. My KitchenAid's not going to do it or whatever. And I fell victim to that whole your KitchenAid isn't strong enough for fresh milled flour. Um, that's a myth. Um, and I lost the KitchenAid over it. But you really don't even need a mixer. You can do all of this by hand. So on my YouTube page, I have my Italian bread, sourdough, and a yeast version totally by hand. And I'm doing like 90 to 100% hydration. So almost equal parts flour and water. And it comes together beautifully, even without a mixer. So, um,
That makes me feel like I can almost try this.
yeah, like if you have time, you just mix your dough for a little bit and then let it sit, and it will hydrate. And it just takes time for it to suck up all that water. Um, the other thing that I found really helps is, and I say it incorrectly on purpose, is the udane. It's really called udane. Um, so it's scalding your flour with boiling water. And in tradition, they would um, mix the boiling water with flour and then they let it sit for hours or overnight to like cool down. But the science mind, says, well, the gelatinization of the starch, right? So where the starch just sucks up the water and holds it in, like locks it in there, that's already happened once it thickens. So all we have to do is use cold water for the rest of our recipe, and it will cool it down, and then you don't have to wait at all, right? And the cold water actually helps with fresh milled flour because your flour comes out of the mill kind of warm, right? So you mix that all together, the cold water with that hot udane and the warm flour, and it all balances out so nicely.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There really is like a science to this thing. That again, it's amazing. I guess through trial and error, you were able to research and find these things and incorporate. And you said on your
Yeah.
website, what or your YouTube channel? Do you have the YouTube channel or the website? What are those in case people want to find it and learn that
Okay.
information themselves?
My YouTube channel is just millet23. Um, and my website is justmillit.com. And I have all my YouTube videos on the website as well. Um,
Okay.
what I like about it is that I like to teach people through recipes, but I don't want to just give recipes. So we're not learning anything when we just follow a recipe. So instead, let's take a recipe base, right? Like I have my Italian bread base, and then let's change something about the base, whether it's the ingredients or the method, the set of directions that we follow,
Mm-hmm.
and make something new. So a lot of stuff is really just bread, but with maybe you added honey and butter. Well, now you got a really soft bread,
Mm-hmm.
right? But still bread. You can roll that out and fill it with cinnamon and sugar, and now we have cinnamon rolls, right?
Mm.
But it's still just bread,
Right.
right? Hawaiian rolls. We're gonna
Ooh,
swap
those are
some of
yummy.
our water for milk and pineapple juice and add a little bit of honey. And now you have Hawaiian rolls, but it's still just bread. So trying to teach people the base and how it can be fun to change up the ingredients or the directions. Get a multigrain bread this time, use spelt, barley, rye, hard
Mm-hmm.
red, um, kamut, and einkorn. Well, now you got a 6 grain bread from the same base. You just have to adjust your water a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's fun and it's freeing. And so that's what I like to teach on the site through the recipes, not just give the recipes. Does
Awesome.
that make
Wow.
sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. So thank you so much. I again with where we are here in Michigan, it's been really great. I've been here for about 3 years now, and the history of country life, we've actually partnered with farmers all over America. So we have farmers in Montana that actually grow grains. We were just talking with one of our farmers, Elijah, who is helping us with einkorn. He has uh, acres and acres of einkorn, and so he said he just bagged it up and he's getting it ready to send it to us now. And yeah, it's really nice to be able to work directly with farmers that grow the stuff and take care of it. That they really, they that are also conscious about not using pesticides or sprays or anything like that, because like a lot of people don't realize in traditional farming, that Monsanto sells those farmers the seed, and that when those
Mhm.
farmers plant that seed, nothing, well, and they spray the field, nothing in that field can grow, and even around the field, nothing can grow because the pesticides are so strong. The plants are actually resistant to the pesticides. So the plants will survive, the plants can thrive in it, nothing else can, but then those plants are grown, just literally grown soaking in pesticides. And so it's not, as it's shown up, glyphosate affects so many different parts of the body. When it's like a, almost as, let's say almost as bad, but just like with plastics and microplastics and how things can build up, they're also finding that glyphosate buildup is also horrible, and it causes so many different issues. And so trying to find clean products or clean grains that are grown, because the business has been around since 1960. See, back in those days, like organic wasn't even really a thing. It wasn't just like, people just,
It was just called food.
it was just food, right? And so
Yeah.
now you have to like put special labels and jump through loops and do all these things just to grow food the way God intended it. But those farmers who do care and do jump through that, take that extra step. It's good to be able to connect with them, and then also to connect with people like you and families that are searching for those products, and kind of just be that place where our warehouse is just a storage. We get it from the farmers, store it here, and then customers just get it directly from us.
So, what makes you guys different from some of the other people that do this?
Yeah, I can explain. So one of the companies that a lot of people are probably familiar with is named Azure Standard. And
Yeah.
one of the major differences that we have from Azure is that we focus on convenience. So my mom, for instance, we in Tennessee, we live an hour away from everything. An hour away from
Mhm.
Walmart, an hour away from the city, or from everything. So even Walmart actually has a new delivery program where they'll deliver to you. But so
Mhm.
Country Life, from all the way here in Michigan, my mom goes on the website or she calls, she places whatever she wants, and then it just shows up at the doorstep. And then she just opens it up and then it's there to go. So we ship directly to people's doors versus where other companies have drop spots or pickup spots where they have a truck that is on a run. So every month, or maybe even twice a month, depending on how many people are at the different stops, but they'll go out and do their deliveries. And it's convenient for certain people because of their model. They focus on the truck and how that, so you can only pick up when you order from them, versus with us you can order whenever you want.
Yeah.
And so there's a differences of certain products, because we also only carry pantry staples, plant-based pantry staples. So everything from your nuts, your seeds, dried fruits, but we also have sweeteners as well, honey, agave nectar, and even bulk herbs. A lot of people are surprised when they look at our herb section. They realize we are a health food store, so we do have herbs in bulk, and barks, roots, all sorts of different, yeah,
Okay.
for making
Yeah.
tinctures and salves and different things like that. But yeah, for the most part, we focus directly on working with families and supplying families with the products and foods they need. It's like having a health food store in your back pocket. Or
Nice.
we help with businesses as well. If businesses are looking for like bakeries or health food stores, restaurants, what's actually really neat is the dog bakeries are one of our stronger customer bases, because dog bakers have to really, or they really like to use organic ingredients in the products. It's interesting that we want to feed our dogs organic cookies, but we will not. We will buy the regular cookies in ourselves. I don't
Yeah.
understand that one, but I understand it.
Yeah. Well, the first Nutrimilk Classic that I
Mhm.
bought it from a lady who was milling, and she put in her listing, I have only milled organic rye ever with this mill, and I was like, that's such a strange thing. And I thought to myself, no wonder she sold it because you're not going to make that great of bread with just rye, honestly, you know? And so I went down and it was from New Jersey and I picked it up there and I said, I gotta ask, like, what were you making with just rye? And she goes, dog treats.
Yep. Yep.
Ah. And she goes, but then I couldn't find the flour, so I got a grain mill and I milled it. And I was like, are you sure you don't want to keep it? Because it's way better when you just mill it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, I'm sure. Have fun.
That's great. No, but yeah, there's a special love that we have for our animals and really making sure that we feed them healthy things. But there are customers, there are people out there who want to also eat just as healthy as their animals. And for those
Yes.
for those who do, they find
Yeah.
Country Life Natural Foods.
So can you get the grains like in bulk from you then?
Correct. So we
Oh, nice.
specialize in you can get 1 pound, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 50 pounds for most things, and you can order multiple 50 pounds if you need. But
Yeah.
that's the benefit. So free shipping starts at around $99. So
Okay.
it comes to your home for free shipping at 99. But with members, so we have a new membership program that's kind of like Costco and Amazon combined, where all members get free shipping on anything. So if you even wanted to order just like some strawberry jam, you can order 1 jar of jam and it'll come to your house for just 4.95. Like it'll no shipping at
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
yeah.
I like that.
Hmm.
So, I'm just thinking, like, so I have never bought from Azure Standard, because of some of the things that I've seen online, like, the dirty grains and,
Yeah.
whatnot. Like, what's your take on the grains? And if somebody were to open a bag and they had like a lot of stuff in them that wasn't supposed to be
Yeah,
there?
that's a great point and a great question. And we have heard that over the years. I will say, in Azure's defense, that they have, because of the amount of complaints that they've gotten, they've changed some things around. So I think that I've just seen that they're, or heard that it's better now. But for us, how
Oh,
we do things, we actually hand pack a lot of stuff. So we don't use heavy, well, we do use machines for things when we can, but we actually hand pack. And so there's a lot of visual eyesight that goes and sees what's going on in that bag or in that product before it gets sent on to the customer. So versus
mhm.
where other, and I get it, as you scale, you take humans out of the loop and things are just for processes to make speed. But
Yeah.
we're still a small company, and so
Yeah.
we have the ability to have a lot of hands-on interaction with the grains as they're transferring from either a 50, because we actually package them ourselves, so we get the either totes, like 400-pound totes of grains, or we'll get the
Mhm.
50 pound and then pre-package them ourselves in the smaller bags. And so that's one of the
Mhm.
reasons why we have been praised throughout the years about the cleanliness of our grains, is because we also,
Yeah.
and then even at the farmer side, we have talked with our farmers, and if we get products from farmers that are not up to the standards that we want, we address them, and they're usually willing to meet with us because we do purchase quite a lot of products, and so we have buying power in a way to say, you guys, if you want us to keep purchasing with you, please make the grains clean. And so
Yes. Yeah.
it helps in some ways. Plus, the relationships are old relationships, going back to the '60s and '70s, and so it's
So you guys have been around that long?
yeah, since 1960.
Wow. Oh, but now you're reaching out to everybody. You're making it more accessible to people who don't live in Michigan.
That's right. We're
Right.
trying
Okay.
to
I gotcha.
we're
I gotcha.
hopefully, we have some plans that hopefully by the end of the year we'll see if it happens this year, but we're hoping to open up something out in the west. We have no set location yet, but we're planning and praying that we can open up a location out west that will make it more convenient for customers on the west coast to be able to get faster shipping as well, because sometimes
Yeah.
it's no fun waiting 5 days, for a product to come in the mail, and a lot
Yeah.
of, yeah. But you
That's
know
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, because the other thing that kept me from using them was the whole I have to go somewhere to pick it up. And I didn't think the prices were, well, I'm fortunate enough to have like a Mennonite run country
Hmm.
store.
Mm-hmm.
and they get all the stuff in bulk. And if you buy it in bulk, they give you a deeper discount.
Mm-hmm.
So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I just, go there
Right.
and get
And
whatever.
most likely, if I were to look up the store you're talking about, they might order from us too, because we supply a lot of Mennonites with their grains.
Oh yeah, it's
Excuse me. We supply Echo
Echo
Hill.
Hill Country Store.
Do
Yeah.
you need to place an emergency call?
We
No.
do. I know the store.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's funny. That's funny.
Call your
Okay.
emergency
yeah.
contact now.
So
No, no.
we supply quite a lot, and again, it's just throughout the years and the different men and different people who have helped this business throughout the years. But
Yeah. That's
yeah,
funny.
so I always tell people, yeah, so go supply, support your local store if you want to, but if you want to get it from us, then by all means. And I wanted to let you know too, as a special thank you, that we're going to give you a free year of Country Life Plus, so you can try it out and see how you
Oh,
like it. And
that's
yeah,
awesome. Thank you.
give us your feedback on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to address,
Mhm.
you gave me a question someone had about did I do any like lab tests or anything like that to
Yes, yes.
see. And I'm not a big medical person. Like I tell my patients, this is something you need to go see your medical doctor for, but I'm not a big person to do that. However, I did have lab work drawn. So when I was in chiropractic school, I was pre-diabetic. And for a while there, I was doing some tests, and you might find it on my Just Millet page back in the day with the continuous glucose monitors. Um, Switching to fresh milled flour significantly lowered my blood sugar levels. And I had lab work drawn up a couple months back,
Mhm.
and everything was just gorgeous, except my cholesterol. And the only thing I can say is I was heavy on the butter.
Mm.
So I cut back on the butter. I'll have to retest again. But to be able to go from pre-diabetic to back to normal and having the low
Mhm.
um, range again was just phenomenal. And it got significantly better when I switched from the fresh milled yeast bread to the fresh milled sourdough bread.
Mm. Yeah, I've heard
Like,
good things about sourdough. That it just has a because it's like not say pre-digested, but because it's alive. There's like a bacteria in there, or that's not the bacteria, but it's just the way that it's not got the regular type of yeast or something, that it's like something has digested the bread for you, but it started the process, so it's easier on your body.
yeah, and it's broken down some of the gluten, and
Correct.
it's
The gluten's broken down. That's right.
and the acetic acid in there is part of what helps with the blood sugar levels. So, like vinegar, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're using vinegar in your foods, that can be helpful for blood sugar levels. And sourdough has some vinegar
Like
type
naturally
acids in
occurring.
there.
Yeah.
Yes. So I was just blown away by how I would hover at like maybe 100 for an average daily glucose, and then it just dropped down like
Mm.
10 points from the sourdough. And I went, whoa. And
Wow.
instead of like being in the middle, I was down by 70 a lot of the day. And it was just, whoa. It
Awesome.
was amazing. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And yeah, I'll let you, again, if anyone wants to follow or find Dr. Mel, you can share your websites again and the YouTube channel where people can follow you.
Yep. Follow me on Just Millet 23 on YouTube or subscribe or go to my website, justmillet.com.
Okay, awesome. And thank you guys all. You know where to find us, so you can check
Thanks.
out our membership if you want to learn more about that. It's countrylifeplus.com. But if you want to check out the grains and see all the products we have, the different nuts and seeds, it's countrylifefoods.com. So thank you all and have a wonderful day.